Hey everybody, it is Kellen Nitro for Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, and again, just trying to watch as much content from the Labor Day weekend as I can right now, getting caught up on everything. This was a documentary that premiered prior to the NXT UK takeover, about a 20-minute special on the WWE Network, based on the life and the story of one Adrian Street. This show was titled Imagine What I Could Do to You. It's basically a short 20-minute biography about the influence and just the story of Adrian Street, who grew up as a Welsh coal miner and eventually got into the world of professional wrestling and became basically the personification of glam rock in pro wrestling. You know, it's a lot of the influences of the 70s and 80s in bands like Slade and T-Rex, and you know, basically that version of, and of course there's a very controversial musician that I will not talk about, but you can Google him as being a influence into the glam rock movement in the 70s. We can't talk about him because he decided to go over to Thailand and you know, do some illegal things with children over there, so that's not what we talk about on a wrestling channel. We'll just put it that way. It's a bad person indeed. But the documentary itself, I wish it was longer. It's kind of the same deal with the Tom McGee thing. I wish that was a little bit longer, but the story was really good. And again, the WWE production company or the WWE studios, I guess I should say, that handle all the network stuff and everything, really punched it out of the park again. This is the second documentary they've done this year that I've really enjoyed. My favorite one so far this year was the Holy Grail documentary, and you can see my thoughts about that in one of the earlier videos on the channel from this year. But this one was really good, just due to the fact that I saw it announced and I was like, this is kind of a strange one for me, because not being just finding out now more about the UK scene and that stuff, you know, it's kind of like beyond the Bulldogs a little bit, because that's all I knew from England for the longest time. Dynamite Kid and British Bulldog. Of course, grew up in Stampede territory, and so that's all we were pretty well pushed since we were little kids, that, oh, Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith, British Bulldog, are like the two best British wrestlers ever. Well, this guy, if he's not in the top two, is close behind at number 3. Adrian Street was a shooter. Adrian Street could legit hurt people in the ring. Don't let the outside package fool you, right? Just this man was an incredible wrestler and just technically sound from top to bottom. And even guys like Johnny Saint was interviewed for this thing, and he said that if he showed up to the ring in half the garb that Adrian Street did as one of Billy Robinson's students, he'd probably get the hell knocked out of him during the session. But Adrian Street was just so mentally tough that he could handle that, and he managed with the entire, I guess, the entire package, just to throw it out there. And this was, you know, just the crossover of a real, I guess, the first real mainstream look at what a kind of a androgynous, effeminate type gimmick could do in modern day wrestling, is the work that he did in Crockett and the work that he did, you know, later on down the line in USWA and GCW. You know, the guy that unfortunately never really got a run with WWE, that probably would have cemented him, maybe again because of the size thing and that stuff. But again, this is a thing where if he would have fit in, I think now in hindsight, perfect with the WWE formula of 87, 88, 89, in that realm. And you bring him in to be either a heel presence in there or something like that, so he could feud with the Brutus Beefcakes and the Ultimate Warriors and the like. Or he could go in there as a face and go up against, I would love to see him for example, against like a Rick Rude. I think like a feud between Adrian Street and Rick Rude would have been amazing. You know, it would have been probably one of the semi-mains for like a SummerSlam or a Royal Rumble or something like that. That would have been great. I would have definitely taken that in 1990 over the submission match between Greg the Hammer Valentine and Ronnie Garvin at the 90 Rumble, that's for sure. But this documentary is awesome from front to back. Get a chance to see it. They talk about the real famous picture that is up at various establishments and kind of one of the big wrestling photos of all time, and it was used in album covers and everything like that, of Adrian Street in full performance garb back at the coal mine across the way from his dad. And in the coal mine elevator there is 5 or 6 workers just covered in soot and everything, waiting to get out, and they just got this look of shock on their face when, you know, they look out and, oh crap, there's Adrian who used to work with us, and boom, he's sitting right there in full garb with the European Championship at the time, right? So just an amazing film. 8.5 out of 10 and a must watch. Give yourself 20 minutes and sit down and check this film out. It is fantastic. Right, folks, later days, happy wrestling watching, and we'll talk to you next time here on Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel. See ya later.